All right, welcome to our third feature match of the week here for Week One Pioneer Masters League. We got Adam on commentary, but also another Adam, Adam E, playing this feature match against one of our league veterans here, Jeremy E or Lurgoif, who took I think a few leagues off here. Just took a little break from the game, coming back to join us for this league. What's going on over there in his hand?
I love where this deck is going. We've got three colors: green, blue, white. Sorry, and we've got a Pilgrim's Eye and two gusts of wind, and then we've just drawn into a Sky Knight and Dragon Lord Ojutai.
Oh boy, those are some cards. Um,
Yeah, it's
I think I'm just I'm
pretty
just I'm
good.
just scared of. I don't even like. I just see Ojotai. I don't even care what the other cards are. Just like go. No, like I don't want to fight this. Um, so a little problem here with Adam's hand, which is not an uncommon problem, which is that he's got three green cards in his hand. Um, no way to cast any of them. He does have a Herald of the Dreadhorde, which is a card we're gonna potentially see this turn. He has drawn an Evolving Wilds, but I think he does want to get down this creature. It's just a 3/2 for 4, and you can amass 2 when it dies for more of the spark. Yeah, he said, you know what? It's more important that I play my green cards. He does have a Crawl Harpooner that can just get a free kill on this Pilgrim's Eye when it comes in. So it's
Well,
always fun.
he's probably also seen the double gust of wind, so knows what happens if he drops a four drop.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. All right, so here Viroas here, not bad. Yeah, so we haven't seen the green cards yet, so maybe the green is more of a splash. I guess we'll see as it goes on. I'm not sure what the joke is there, but I'll let somebody younger than me explain what all that means.
Did
Ooh, oh, wow. Okay, so Adam's really he's drawn about the last thing I would expect him to draw, which is a card that has two blue mana symbols in its cost, which is Jace, Architect of Thought. So he's we'll say five color here. I mean, at least four color, obviously.
the
Um,
full rainbow.
I was not expecting a double blue card off the top. I will say that. I think he's just going to play the Harpooner probably. Get a free kill on this Pilgrim's Eye. Yes, Harpooner. I don't know how great it is in this set. I remember back in Guilds of Ravnica, you just got to pop off Healer's Hawks for free when they played them on turn one. I guess this kills like a Cloudfin Raptor on turn one, but
Yeah,
I mean you don't cut
it's
it from the
very
green
well
decks.
suited. Yeah, it's drawn into double gust of wind for sure.
Yeah, I mean late in the game it's like a plummet, which is also like a totally okay thing to do. So yeah, card's good. I'm curious to see the composition of Adam's deck after seeing this Jace off the top. Ooh, Loxodon Smiter. That's a green card. All right, well, he's halfway to Jace with this Darksteel Ingot here.
I'm not sure I block Hero of Erois there, but maybe. I guess if you're just stalling.
Yeah, well, he figures his thing's just going to get bounced or locked down or whatnot. Yeah, he's going to get his Nyx Weaver going. His other card in hand is Crunch Wrangler. Uh, 2 mana, 2/1, trample, and you get a counter when a 4 power
Right.
creature comes in. He's got the Herald of the Dreadhorde still and the Jace Architect of Thought. So it might be a bit
Yeah,
of a
we're
tough go here.
ooh,
Interesting.
spicy.
It says I could bounce the creature. I could lock down this mana rock.
Maybe he knows the Jace is coming.
I mean, I'll say okay. He's on a Skyrider elf, which is kind of nice, but again, it just gets bounced. Um, like if even if Jeremy had his opponent's pool open, he would never expect him to have a Jace Architect of Thought in hand based on what he's seen so far this game with the mana in play. So even if he had his pool open, I think he would be surprised to see a Jace on the other side. Yeah, but
So you're
these
saying Jace is extra strong here. That's what I'm hearing.
sure. It's not being played around. Yeah, but I mean, this Herald of the Dreadhorde just is is bad right now because like even if he doesn't gust of wind it, he can just like gust of wind
Yeah.
the token after it dies. So it's just none of this is very strong here for Adam, unfortunately.
I think we're gusting it, but I mean, yeah, you could just attack right into this.
Yeah, like who cares? I mean, making your opponent spend 4 mana to play it again is pretty good. All right, Paul and Bright Drew can come in and put a counter on something, possibly the flyer.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think I like it on the flyer, just knowing that he has a 2/3 reach
yeah. Like I said, I'll just put on this
coming
4/4 to make it even more difficult to deal with. I mean,
down.
Treasure Cruise off the top. Love to see it, but not really in this spot.
Castable again.
Yes, Castle. I think he has to play his 5/5 here. The Skyrider Elf. It's either
Is it
that or
enough?
like a Nyx Weaver and a Crunch Wrangler, or a Herald of the Dreadhorde and a Crunch Wrangler. But at least the Nyx Weaver or the Skyrider can block this flyer. Right, he's gonna go wrangle some Crunch here.
Uh,
Yeah, Jeremy just had a
uh,
very scary starting hand. Like we saw with
oh,
the
and
Palaka predation, he just saw his starting hand, took away the Dragonlord
we
Ojutai, but still didn't slow him down at all.
that was a top deck right there, the
Yeah,
silk wrap.
he can now attack all because he's forced to jump block, and
That means that the flyer is lethal, although we know of the blocker, and you're also saying he's got the sky
yeah, he's got a
elf.
Skyrider Elf. He's got another double blue card off the top here, the Shipbreaker Kraken this time. But yeah, mana issues abound here.
The shipbreaker kraken, that's the double blue, right?
It's like
It's got the monstrous as well.
yeah, it's a 6 mana 6/6, and if you pay an extra 8 mana, you get to lock down stuff. A bit expensive for what it is. Oh, it actually auto paid him all the colors. I would be too scared to allow Auto Tapper to resolve a Skyrider Elf for me. I'd be way too scared. I would just tap all my lands manually. Yeah, so if the Skyrider Elf sticks around, he'll have some air
Uh,
defense.
I don't think that's happening. We just picked up a clear shot.
Well, that ends the game in that case.
Yeah, that's back to back removal draws. Exactly on cue.
Yeah, so Jeremy takes game one here with his, I guess, flyer adjacent deck here. Yeah, so I would like to say that I could identify the two base colors for the deck here, but we're looking at basically four colors. The white Guildgate just seems to be for gate cards, like Gates Ablaze and whatnot. But yeah, he's got green, red, blue, and black cards all across the board here. Two treasure cruisers.
Yeah,
I like that. But yeah, the
this
mana was a bit too punishing here, never seeing the blue on time. But triple Skyrider
Jeremy's
Elf
deck
is a good reason to be doing this
looks a
kind of
lot
thing.
less. Jeremy's deck looks a lot less blue than it did in play there.
Okay.
Really, we saw every one of his blue cards.
Really,
It's
just has
largely
four
a
blue
green
cards?
white.
Oh,
Yeah, the double gust,
okay.
the Dragon Lord, only a single copy of Sky Knight.
Okay. Yeah, no changes here for Adam. So basically, they're both on 2 wins, 2-2 and 2-1. So yeah, they're off to a pretty normal run of the mill start here to the league, but trying to end the week with 3 wins or possibly more. Any changes
Jeremy's
being made
got
over there?
uh I'm not sure if we've actually taken anything out. We're considering it. There's a Master of Waves in the sideboard, I see.
Yeah, that's not really a splash card though.
Yeah. Well, even just by itself, it's two bodies,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's got Pro Red, which
yeah, it could be
isn't
something.
that useful here.
From his starting hand, it looked like he was like a white blue deck, but I guess we're finding out it's more green. But he just drew his island and
Yeah.
all his blue
And he's
cards.
only running, looks like four blue sources.
Well, he
Although
had
he's in
like
green,
Pilgrim's
so
Eye,
maybe there's
and he might
another.
have District
Yeah.
Guides, and so on and so on.
Yeah, a few slight changes. One of the gusts came out.
All
We
right,
were toying with putting in an essence scatter. I'm not sure if it made the final cut.
we got a lot,
Pretty
a
rough
much
hand here.
nicer looking hand here.
Uh,
Yeah, so we got a Skyrider Elf here, which you can play on two. Fight with Fire, Jace, Architect of Thought, and Sarkhan, the Unbroken. That's
ooh,
the teamer one. So he's making use of his planeswalkers while he has them here. Herald of the Dreadhorde off the
we're
top, not great with only islands as his other cards. So I think he's considering whether to run out Skyrider off as a 2/2, and I think he's come to the correct decision, which is yes, because his other land is an island, so it doesn't actually make the elf bigger.
So Jeremy drew this forest, but actually kept a one-ish lander. He kept a two-lander if you count a Sajiri shelter, which is still in hand.
Oh, I count
Uh,
it.
this really opens up the rest of his hand, though. Although we're still hurting for lands,
All right, well, he has the
but
Satyr here, which I
yeah,
mean, I
but
don't
it
know.
would
I
have been
don't know how much.
unplayable.
Yeah, I don't know how much Adam wants to bolt the bird here with the fight with fire. Probably not. He's trying a Pilgrim's Eye, so that at least gets him his black source. Then he can start playing his. He can play Jace. He can play Herald of the Dreadhorde eventually. Sarkhan. A swamp does not help him cast the Sarkhan, however.
Some challenges. In Jeremy's hand, there's a Pilgrim's Eye, which will be playable next turn. There's a Pollen Bright Druid, Artful Maneuver, Hero of Erois, and also Zhang Yangu,
Okay,
Wildcrafter.
cool. It's
Not one of the
it's a deep cut.
most significant planeswalkers we've got floating around.
It's a deep cut. We could say it puts counters on things and makes them turns them into mana dorks if they have counters.
I think that's
I
right.
think it was just meant to go with like the dog, like his dog from the
Yes,
first arc. Whenever you put a counter, it gets two counters instead. All
so
right,
we've gotten
so
the island. Interesting. Played out the island instead of the shelter here, even though he's got no use for it.
well, he's holding it till the absolute last minute, which again is like not something I do, but I don't think I'm always
Yeah.
correct in doing that. I just play them out as lands too often. I know that. So yeah, now we've got a bunch of good options here. Yeah, he dragged his Zendikar incarnate to cast it, and then realized not quite. I would have thought this is a pretty safe turn to play Jason plus it,
Yeah.
and then next turn you can minus it potentially. A big smiter here that could get fought with fire if he so chooses.
And the hero of Erois coming down as well.
All right. So Essence Scatter off the top here, not amazing because he's going to be tapping out most turns here with what he's got. I think he's just
The
going
out
to
of
go with the
lands over
Smiter.
there.
Yeah, he doesn't have lands. He has the two Planeswalkers. He has Zendikar Incarnate, which is not castable. He's got Essence Scatter here. He just said, I'm going to get a 4/4 off the board here. No thanks. I don't want to deal with that. I'll attack my opponent to 11. Yeah, so Jeremy is he hasn't played for a few leagues. So if you just joined the server in the last few months, you might not know too much about Jeremy, but he's one of our longest serving players here. He was on league committee. He's won a league. He's many times top eight. So, and if you talk to him, he'll tell you all about the pro tours he played on back in the day, like he was doing with Adam E just before the game. Here's Jang. Okay.
Sadly, this doesn't trigger heroic,
No,
unlike the
it's
new
not Valiant.
WoW
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah, Valiant was a speller ability, but only the first time each turn, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah, that's correct. So slightly fixed, a little bit better, a little bit worse.
Yeah, heroic still works just fine, but yeah, it does not work on abilities.
So the artful maneuver is pretty powerful with the hero. And I guess a good reason to have held on to Sajiri's shelter.
Yeah, like I said, he's going to be patient with that shelter. He said, "I'm only going to play as the land when I absolutely have to," and he so far has not had to, so he gets to leave it up here. All right, decides I'm going to go on the offense a bit here. Is he just going to fire off the artful for 3 extra damage? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "I want 3 extra damage and another 3 damage next turn potentially." Rakdos Guild get off the top here, not what you want to see. So he has a choice between playing Jace or holding up Essence Scatter. Jace is just going to die though if he plays it, or it's going to be able to be attacked quite readily.
Yeah, he could chump, but yeah, Jace is in trouble.
But
Because
leaving
the
up,
hero is going to be attacking as a 6/6.
yeah, leaving up Essence
Although late,
Scatter is not great either when you're a bit behind
yeah.
here. So he's just going to dump the Jiang Yangu here. Looks like he's going to set up for a jump block if he wants to keep Jace alive. But
Yeah.
you kind of want to artful on the Voyaging Satyr just to diversify your threats. But if he wants his hero to Iroas to not trade with the Herald, he has to do it this way.
Yeah. Well, also this way you get the counter.
Yep. So he might just
And you
take.
can proliferate. Here we go.
Oh, fancy. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. I see you, Jeremy. I see what you're up to.
Look at that. Never didn't have it.
So let's see where he focuses his attacks here, because he could just deal a chunk of damage to Adam directly. Like he's attacking here for 8. He does say, okay, he is maybe thinking, let's get this Jace out of here. Okay. So if he wants to keep the Jace alive, he can just chump block here and then maybe minus the Jace to go and find something to do.
I do think that's the play. I mean, keep in mind, Jeremy also had the option of Sajiri Shelter there to guarantee Jace would die.
I think he'd rather just save it from a removal.
Yeah.
The Gateway Plaza is not really what he wanted to see here. He could play Zendikar Incarnate, just have like a big body here to defend Jace with. What's Jeremy got left in hand there?
Just the shelter.
Okay. So I think he could plus Jace now. Because with the Zendikar Incarnate in play, Jace has a good chance of surviving potentially.
So what are this Jace's abilities? We saw he can give -1 to attackers.
Yeah, the minus ability is you reveal the top 3, and then your opponent makes 2 piles, and you get to keep one of them. It's a mini fact or
Uh,
fiction. The other goes to the bottom. So basically, you can always get 2 cards if you want.
we do love those.
Yeah, it's just another little like play a game card. I love all these like little play a game cards like Atris and just well the
I think we
original was
have
fact or fiction.
we have three in this format, right? Because there's the Dragon Lord.
Which Dragon Lord?
I'm trying to remember.
Uh,
Is it a Jutai that does it?
no, Dragon Lord Ojutai is like when it connects with the opponent, you get to basically cast Anticipate. Look at the top three and just you get to your opponent's not
Uh,
involved in it. We had in Foundations the Curator of Destinies, I think it was called, from
there's also a
Foundations. Anyway,
there's a blue red instant that gives
oh
you
yeah,
five
yeah, Steam Augury.
enzymes.
Yeah, it's Fact or Fiction, except your opponent chooses the pile. You make the pile, and your opponent gives you a pile, which is the obviously inferior version, but still good. All right, so gets rid of the Zendikar Incarnator with a clear shot, which I assume was off the top.
It was, yeah, second
Yeah,
time in as many games.
yeah, he did a lot last game too. So when you build your deck well, you get helped by it. I mean, he left up the essence scatter here, but there was no essence. There was no essence to be scattered, and now he
Yeah, with
kind of
Shelter
just
on deck.
has to play this Sarkhan and make a dragon, I guess.
I think that's going to be game though, because this Tajiri Shelter should make the hero into a 7/7
Yeah, and that and
unblockable.
the Pollen Bright will get through. I don't know if Jeremy will necessarily do that into open mana. That's a bit risky
Yeah,
to do into open mana. So out comes Sarkhan here.
we're getting the full Planeswalker tour in this
Yeah,
game.
it's just not really helping out Adam here too much. As I mean, the Jace gave him a couple looks at some answers here, but ultimately not exactly what he needed. But yeah, I mean, enjoy the
Oh,
planeswalkers now, or don't enjoy them. But they're a lot of them are leaving our decks at the end of this week. Well, I mean, this Jeremy guy, watch out for him. All right, so unless Gates Ablaze won't do it. Yeah, you can make another dragon, but no. Looks
not
like
enough.
Jeremy. I mean, very focused for like a week one deck here. Like green white with a few blue cards to get him some advantage here. The gust of winds and the Ojutai particularly, but impressive showing from Jeremy here in week one. So congratulations to him on the win, and we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for watching.